Alrighty, boys and girls, friends, neighbors, loved ones. Time to do another winter service on an Ariens Deluxe 28 super high output. That's the one with a big 15.0 foot-pounds rated motor. Today, the reason why this one's in the shop is because there's some nice weather going on, and we have the time to take a look at it, go over it. There's been no problems with it. We had a couple of bad snows and we had to do it without doing the oil change. That being said, the oil is probably perfectly fine to run for another season, but we just don't do that. I like to change the oil every season, no matter what. Unfortunately, we didn't get at this one, and it did, I think, two heavy blows to get to be where it is now. And I'm going to go through it and service it all step by step. So there's no, how would you put it? There's no confusion or any misconceptions about what we're trying to do. Basically, what we're trying to do here is maintain the life of a very expensive snowblower. These things are pushing $4,000 now. I said it, $4,000. Or is that, no, $3,000. Sorry, I was thinking of the Pro model. In Canada. So, if you look at it, what do you do to increase its longevity, to make sure you get the life out of it? And I'll tell you what that is: simple maintenance. This is something that if I can do it, you can do it. It's very, very simple maintenance to do on these machines. I put a high quality product lubricant in the engine to make sure that the engine lasts. This is what I'm using. You guys can argue it out or beg to differ. I've been on lots of forums where everybody argues about oil. I don't care to get into that fight because I know what I know, I use what I use, and I have tons of experience with this product, this manufacturer, the product line, and I'd swear my life on it. So if that's all I'm going to say about what I choose for the oil, in case you're vision impaired today, what I'm using is AMSOIL 100% synthetic small engine oil. It's a commercial grade that I'm using, 5W30. To go into this LCT engine. I think it's LCT. Can't remember anyway. You can look it up. To maintain its longevity. I'll be going through the whole thing. So the first thing I did off camera was I warmed up the engine. And I'm going to pull the drain plug. And the drain plug's got a cap on it. And it's located right there at the back of the front of the motor. We'll call that the front. And it's going to be draining into this pan. So I'll get back to you as soon as I uncover that. Meanwhile, like, subscribe, hit that subscribe button. God, we need you to subscribe. The channel is doing fantastic. I'm really, really happy, but I know we can do better. And I'd like to see, I'd like to get it to 10% of the viewers to actually hit the subscribe button. That'd be super cool. So let me get going on this, and I'll be right back. All right, I got the cap loosened off. And here comes the oil. I tip it back a little bit just to make sure, because it'll run down the cap's dripping all over me, so that's a good thing. So it'll at least run into the pan. So there you are, proof's in the pudding. I'm draining the oil. There you go, I got her tipped back, and yeah, she's empty. You can see the last little bit dribbling out. So what I'm going to do is I'll do the servicing while the engine's empty. And then what I did was I took the ignition switch out. You can see it's missing from there. It was right there. And I put it on top of the oil bottles that are sitting on the workmate. And that means that you can't run the machine because it's got no oil, and that's the reminder to put the oil in case I get interrupted. So there you see, now we're down to a drip. All that's good, and we'll move forward. All right, I'm going to put the oil cap on now while it's in the service position because it's way easier to do. That's what I'm using to seal the threads. If you want to use Teflon tape, go ahead. That's your choice, but I don't like it. I just think the stuff's a pain in the arse. So I'm going to put this cap on because I can't do it one-handed, and we'll get the service cover off. Alrighty, I'm going to do a close up on removing this, removing the clips that hold the wheel. That's simple. Grab it with your fingers, and pull it off. There it is there. Right? Then this is what happens if you maintain your machine. Look at that. That wheel just pops off and the key falls out. Exactly what you want to see. Put your clip and your key right in there. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, and then we're going to do a close-up on the back. I want to show you guys something. Okay, I got you guys zoomed in. We're going to remove this clip, and we're going to take this axle, this one here, out, and we're going to grease it. Someone brought this to my attention in one of my previous videos that I didn't remove this axle. There's actually two axles here. There's this one runs right across to the other side, and this one is only for this side, and that's how the differential works. The auto turn steering, it has to have two independent axles. So we're going to pull this one out. There's a little C-clip on the end. You need to pop off with a screwdriver, and then pull this shaft out. So I'll show you that. Stand by. All right. I don't know if my head's going to get in the way of the shot or not, but here's me working the clip off. Here comes the clip. There it is there. Sorry, I'm out of shot. Where am I? I'm doing this zoom, so I'm losing track. There's the clip. And it's a matter of sliding this shaft out. And there you go. So, now you can see inside here, there is some corrosion beginning to form, so I'm going to clean that. And I'm not going to pull it all the way through out. I'm just going to clean it, spray some grease inside there. But this is an easy step to do. Don't neglect it, like I have. Be the first one to tell you I never even really thought of it. And moisture is a big problem with these machines. Okay, so we're back on her. And I got this off. I'm going to clean this up real good, see what we got going here. Just a 3-year-old machine, I think. That's not too bad. There is some signs. Corrosion. And then the inside. These will get, that's got a bushing in it. It appears to be there's a bushing, maybe a plastic bushing in these. Yeah, there's something in there. Is that plastic or bronze? That could be bronze. Okay. So there's a bushing in there. You can see it. Now on the other the other blower that I had, this tube was seized to that tube, and it wasn't exactly this model. It was an older version. I put it into press, and I could not get them apart. I got a 20-ton shop press. It didn't work. So that's the first sign of trouble if you neglect this. So I'm going to get this cleaned up, and we're going to get a good amount of lube on there. Let's see what's going on. That's not too bad. We're just going to lube the snot out of it to make sure it stays not too bad. Stand by. You're red and ready. Twisting the axle from the other side so I get a nice even coat. I'm spraying some down the tube. And I'll tell you why I'm using grease in this application is because these two parts have to turn independent of each other. And I didn't use anti-seize because I really don't think anti-seize is the best lubricant to use in here. I'm rotating this as I put it together to distribute the grease. I'm coming up to the hole, keep sliding it. there she goes. You wiggle it a little bit and it pops back into the auto turn differential. Give that a push from the other side, and that exposes my C-clip groove. So that independent axle has been fully cleaned and lubricated. We'll call it the I don't know, electric starter side of the motor axle. And yeah, that's done. So I can put the clip back on. So while we're servicing it, nothing happens. So there you go. When we get back to the point where we're going to put the wheels back on, we're going to use anti-seize on here, and we'll go through that. Now, I want to show you guys a problem that's noted with these Ariens. I have found this on maybe 5 or 6 machines that I've serviced, and watch this. That's the axle bolts, which are put in from the axle bearing bolts, which are put in from the inside, are loose. And this is bouncing around. So it's a good thing we're doing the service on it, because we caught another problem. Debating whether or not I should pull that off and do, I think, you know what I'll do the next time it needs a drive wheel? I'm going to take a different approach on this. This axle was replaced, or sorry, this jack shaft was replaced last year. You got to keep an eye on all these elements, because you know what? Any machine, it has its problems. These are darn good machines for what they do, the work that they do it very well. I haven't had a machine that worked quite as good, so that's why I stick to them. This was my machine. Jake took it and it became his, and I bought another one. So, because he had a big as a driveway as I have to maintain. So I thought, you know what, let's just do it that way. So I'm going to pull the service cover off. Other than greasing this, we're pretty much done. I'll grease that once the cover's off so I can show you guys. So I'm going to reposition the camera so you guys can see what's going on, and we'll get this cover off. Stand by. Okay, well, before I do that, I wanted to show you guys the oil. And the camera's picking. There's no silver in this. And this 2 seasons, well, season and a quarter old, I guess we'll call it. And that's the AMSOIL right there. It's doing its job. There's no oil filter in these, folks. It's the oil just sits in there and it does its job, and it doesn't get cleaned. So that's the sorry, I'm huffing and puffing around here. So that's what you can expect. So I'm not endorsing AMSOIL for any sort of product endorsement. I'm only telling you this because it's what I use. Somebody made a comment about me using a ratchet doing one job. They said I looked awkward. Now, they use some other choice words, but trolls will be trolls. So I'm doing this unawkward. With a power ratchet. Speeds the job up immensely. Now we're doing the great reveal inside the box, where all the magic happens. So there it is. You get to see it. I'll get you in closer and I'll show you what to look for when we're doing the inspection in there. So stand by and I'll reposition the tripod. All right, we're in the belly of the beast. Let me get a work light so it's easier for you guys to see in there. So I got the Walter here, and I'll go through what we're looking at. Okay, so, sorry, bumped into you guys there. I'm still in the shot. Let's move that a little bit. There we go. You can see over here I got my magnetic tray to hold all my nuts and bolts. So looking inside, right off the bat, we have lost a bolt. Right here. Right there. I don't know if can you see that on the outside? It's the bolt to the axle's missing. No, the head's broke off. Oh, well, there you go. So we're taking this apart. The head's broke off the bolt, so we're going to have to figure something out for that. I do have some new bolts. Oh, that's going to suck putting that in, isn't it? We got some work to do. Boys and girls. We do. That belt looks okay. There's a pair of these, so we'll take that and look at that from the inside. I'm seeing a lot of dust. Something's rubbing here. We'll have to go deeper. There's a groove in that belt, so we need to get a look at that. That was a new wheel. The wheel's just the crest is still there a bit, so the drive wheel will do a full circle and check it. The shaft is nice and glistening with grease, so we don't need to lube that. The chain's glistening with grease, we don't need to lube that. There's, like I said, that some of the stuff you can skip. We can still see red and ready leaking out of there. The jack shaft looks okay, but it might have to come out to move that differential back. Dang, that's a bummer. We got a broken bolt there. So normally what you would end up doing inside of here is you'd inspect your drive wheel, your friction wheel, make sure it's okay. The friction plate looks good. We got something going on under the cover because there's a rub mark in this belt right down here. So we're going to look deeper into that once we put her back into the operating position. Everything else, other than being a little bit dirty, that's fine. Seems to be okay. These bolts are tight. It's the differential side that let go. That sucks. That really sucks. And I can't see the back one. I'm assuming it's still there. I can't see. Yeah, it's still there. Yeah, just this one broke at the front. It's right in here. You can't, there's no more head of the bolt. Oh, Lordy. I'll see if I can work a bolt in there. I should maybe be able to. If not, well, we're going to take it apart. So let's see how that goes. Stand by. Wow, okay, that was dead easy. So what I did to get this out is I took the C-clip that we did before back off, pulled this shaft through here, pulled that little one that we had out this way, and out dropped the differential pack. So there it is right there. So that gives me access to these 3 bolts. Obviously the one's broken, and we'll fix that. I'll get a bolt in there and we'll carry on. I'm going to pull one out of this side just to see what it is. I do have some bolts in stock, but I'm not sure of the length. So we'll just look at that. Stand by. So that was easy. Sorry I didn't video it, but you didn't miss nothing. Pull the C-clip off, pull this shaft that way, that shaft that way. Out it comes, it exposes this, and the differential basically falls out. There you can see the broken off bolt right there. Pointing out with my thumb. Let's see if we can get that out. Oh, hey, little oil change turns into a great big job. There you go. All right, got lucky with this one. And got here is a chisel. I'm going to walk this broken bolt out. It is moving. Or it was. Oh, look at that. It stopped moving. There we go. It's moving a bit. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Try that again. I got more exposure. Oh, stubborn. Stand by, boys and girls. The plot thickens. Oh, boys and girls. Many moons later. Lots of patience, back and forth. I had to actually drive it in as much as I could. And I give her a shot of PB Blaster. just to help things along. And after 10 minutes of massaging this little bolt out, we got somewhere. Yeah, it's too hard to grab out with my fingers, so apply some vice grippage. Now, if this was rusted in, this wouldn't have worked. It worked because the head broke off. But there's the bolt. We got her out. Perseverance. And yeah. It's a trilobular bolt, right? They're for kind of almost self-tapping. I don't know if they're not considered self-tapping, but they self-align when the machines put these things together on the assembly line. Okay, so we got it out. Let's get back to it. Okay. Getting ready. These are the only bolts I could find. These were the originals. So what I think I'm going to do is put these in and then cut them off. You can cut them off before or after, doesn't matter. But that's what I'm going to do. Because, yeah, just because. Let me check this, make sure we're going okay. Yeah, that feels good. These are locking bolts I had from a supplier. They've got serrations under the head. You can see that. And that helps them stay put. And in this application, what are you doing, Jimmy? Gee, Lord. Watch what you're doing. And in this application, staying put is kind of important. I don't think these are metric, because they're not marked metric. Okay. Let's see what we got here. See if we can line those in. Oh yeah, those fit nice. Whoa, nice and tight. Okay. Let me get this one. Unfortunately, this one's going to get screwed in by hand. And this is going to take a while. But I wanted you guys to see that I can operate tools with my bare hands and not have any issues. So, what did we learn today? We got lucky because the axle bolts actually came out. And those were trilobular, and now we're getting into the stiff part. Because their threads were not cut through here, and these new bolts are kind of making their way through. It's not damaging them all, I can see on this side. No damage whatsoever. Yeah, it's starting to get easier. And that's going to be the repair for the day. Okay, you seen enough? Let's do the little what do we call that? Stand by. All right, I think we're ready to go back together again. I trimmed the bolts off with a zip cut wheel. You need to see that barbaric act. We'll put all this stuff back together. Where am I? I'm going to put some red and tacky on there. Just because. It's got it apart this far, why not? So, that's red and tacky number 2. We'll put some on there. Get some in the hole. Lube it up. Lots of twisting to distribute the lube properly. This looks nice. This is good. Okay, now we're going to put the clutch back in, or the differential. Oh, you heavy little bugger. It's got some weight. So there's 2 thrust washers inside. And it went bolts to here. I don't know if that matters or not, but putting her back together the way it came apart. Now this side, because we're exposed, she's getting some red and tacky. I don't know if that's probably off camera, but that goes through like that. Look at that, slides back together again. Okay, the C-clip we took off before goes back on, and problem solved. You no longer have a broken bolt, and the axle's fixed properly. The axle bearing supporting the axle properly. All that's fixed. So we'll continue on with the service. So we said, recap, we said everything here looked good, except we got a little bit of rub on one of the belts. We're going to find out what that's about when we get her back into the run position. I don't know if I want to use this stuff in here. She's pretty gooey. We'll put a little bit on there. There, just to make the crowds happy. And then we'll shift gears. And that'll make the crowds even happier. There we go. There, get her all lubed up. This train's just dripping with grease, so I just gotta grease the whatchamacallit here, the jack shaft, this guy right here. That is not supposed to turn, so keep this grease, because if it starts turning, it kills the housing. That's how I fixed that other one. It ripped it right apart. So we gotta keep that lubricated. So obviously we're gonna lube it with a grease gun. Noises are about to begin. Oh, grease malfunction. Try that again. There we go, that's better. The grease squirting out of where it needs to be squirting out of. Clean this up so it doesn't end up on the friction wheel. Messy in there, but hey, it's all lubed up, and that's as good as you hope for it to be. We're not restoring it, we're just keeping it running properly. While we're in here, we'll check the opposite side axle bearing, bolts. They appear to be good. Uh-oh, broke too soon. Broken it, look at that, it popped off. Alrighty, boys and girls, that's 2 we gotta do. Well, we're gonna do it again, stand by. Sorry, that was off camera. I was just checking these for tightness and this one broke off right before my very eyes. So now I gotta pull this side apart. This axle here, right there, that bearing's gotta come out. Yeah, well, here we go. Alrighty, boys and girls, wow. This one here was a nightmare. I tried welding on it, that didn't work. I had to set it up in the drill press. Sorry about the loud noises, but it is what it is. Turn that off, Jake. Just turn that thermostat. I had to, ooh, that smells like burning Jake. Whew. Did you set yourself on fire?
No, I'm fine.
You lose some hair?
No.
That thing will give you a haircut. Yeah. Anyway, wow. I don't know if I should have videoed that or because it was, sorry, I'm just moving you guys a little bit. It was a real pain. So everything is done underneath. We got the bearing back in. There's no way that any shop is going to fool around with those that are broken off. I guarantee you right now, That's coming off.
And self-tappers are going in.
No, they'll just throw a set of bearings on there, and that's it. Because that was stupid. It's centered. It's some kind of centered metal. So these bearings are made in a press, and that centered metal doesn't lend itself to being cooperative. Drilling or whatever, right? So yeah, but I got it. All 3 bolts are back in. And I'm just lubing up the wheels now because we're going to put it back in the operating position, pull the belt cover off. I had to run a tap in this speed nut, believe it or not. So yeah, it's all kinds of fun. I don't know what's going on with these bolts that Ariens uses on the axles, but I'm telling you something, 2 out of 6 breaks. That's 1/3. So I don't know. Okay, is that gonna stay? That might stay. Let's put this like this first. So I'll show you what goes on with these. What I like to do is to get them on and give them a good spin. And that distributes there we go, to the top. Beautiful, just what I wanted. Right to the top. So my keyway's at the top, so I can put my key in the keyway. It's a rectangle key, only goes in one direction. Work it a little bit. One wiggle, boom, on. Got the magic clip. Push that axle in, Jake. It's not in all the way. Push it. Here. Just push the end of it upon your hand. There you go. So the primary and secondary axle on this side was took apart, so that I could lube in between. Remember that one that was seized?
Yeah.
We tried it in the press.
These
because the water got in there and ruined it. The ratchet still works. That side's good. Holy Mackinac. I could tell something was wrong because it was generating all kinds of filth. It was all coming out of that one side. It was leaking. So, give that a good spin. Make sure that NEC's keys at the top, keyway, and we're inserting the key into the keyway. I don't mean to be a dick, but some of the guys around here think a key is the keyway. The key is not a keyway.
It's not a shear pin either, it's a key.
It's a key. The key goes in the keyway. Okay. Magic clip goes on. And Ariens put some paint on the rims because whatever you guys call paint ain't. So I got some complaints about the Ariens machine, these bolts. And I found a bunch loose on a bunch of machines. And now they're breaking the heads off. Okay. We'll get her in the operating position. Pick you guys up. Move these back. Jake, flip it up and move the stuff and we'll put her in the operating position. We'll get that belt cover off. Jake's back at it again. Oh, Lordy. What turned out, I wanted this to be like a half-hour job, and I think I've been at it 2 hours so far. And there's the devil's there. So, can you see that? That's the original axle bolts. I don't know what these are. I don't know if they're hardened or what. But they pop off. They're trilobular, so I know they make their own threads. That's cut off excess. That's nothing. So that's what's remaining out of a set. So I'm not sure. Ariens, you got to help us out here. I think you should be giving these bolts out for free because it's no good. It's crap. Okay, now we found the problem. This bolt here was loose. With this bolt being loose, it doesn't keep this square. It doesn't keep it perpendicular to the pulley and the belt. So if you can see right now, Jesus, look at the difference.
Yeah, it was rubbing on the...
Look at the groove, people. Folks, Friends, neighbors, loved ones, boys and girls, check this out. There's the groove.
It went into
Right there. That's because this band, because this bolt was hanging down in here, and the whole time while the machine's running, it's eating the belt. So there's 1/4 of an inch. Well, I'll bet you even more difference. So when you're doing your machine, check the tightness. Get the light over here. Shine the light. Check this bolt. 2 1/2-inch wrenches. Make sure it's decent snug.
But don't crank it.
Don't crank it, or else it'll bind it up. But like I got a little bit of preload, a little bit of drag, and that squared everything back up. The other thing to look at, point down in here, is this guy here. It wears down. Now what's happening is it's wearing because when it's in the when you're pushing down on the blade to engage. I don't know if that part's replaceable. I'm gonna have to look into that. That's vibration. That's what's wearing that plastic wheel down. There's nothing you can do about that. All these machines vibrate. So that's why we had to go back into the belly of the beast to fix that problem. The belt's still good. We're going to let it run. Because why not, right? And then you change those, obviously, in pairs. So when you break one, consider the other one broken. Because there is a lot of belt debris in here. She's dirty. But that's a summertime project when you get in here and wash it all out. And go through the whole thing again. But there you go. Wheels were back off. Boy, it seems like we're doing this over and over again. Okay, let's get her back together and get back on top of things. All right, sorry boys and girls, loud noises. I thought while we're here, pull the valve cover off. Check the valve lash. 7 on the intake. 8 was the magic number on the exhaust. That was good. I did check the torque on the head bolts. That was fine. 30 foot-pounds on those. The manual for this motor, it's an LCT engine. It's really easy to find online. We did find the problem with that bolt, with the belt, why there was a horrific rub mark in it. That's been solved. We had a heck of a time putting the belly pan back on. So I'm going to tell you this right away, right now, heads up. You guys in America, you guys got easy pickings for Ariens parts. Buy 4 new of those clip nuts that hold the bottom on right off the bat.
Extension down there.
What?
Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you.
I don't know where it went. Right here. So yeah, buy them because they're $1 a piece. And I'll tell you what, for $1 a piece, change them while you're doing all your work in here. It is not worth the aggravation. And they got to go in on a crazy angle. So the plates, like you think in 90 degrees, like you would like any other threaded hole. But those clips, they kind of turn a little bit. You got to go in and on a bottom angle. And they cross, I don't even want to go into it. Just change them out. Buy some new ones. We found them online, $1 a piece. I live in Canada. We don't have the luxury of getting stuff like you guys do. So get some bolts. Get the bolts if you want for the axle bearings, bushings, whatever you want to call them. You might as well have them on hand because it seems like there's an issue, and for how cheap you guys can get it, just do it. So Jake's putting on that cover. We found that problem's fixed, and then we're going to go to the front as soon as I get the valve cover back on. Look at how clean everything is in there. 7 years. Okay, that's what doing the oil changes do. This is season number 3 for me, I think. This is number 3, yeah. So we've had it for a few years, and I know the guy that owned it. I bought it used. I know the guy that owned it. He there's nothing there. And I've done a lot of work on Honda engines. This is real close to a Honda.
It's a clone?
I think it's a clone.
Yeah.
I know I put a fresh spark plug in it last year, so I'm not going to bother pulling that out. It's maybe 2 hours, 3 hours on the spark plug. Everything else seems to be okay. You got that cover back on?
Yeah.
Jake's got the cover back on. And let me get this valve cover back on and we'll be good to go. Yeah, look at this. That's very well close to being sheared.
The shear bolt.
So shear bolt. So we got that to change, and I did that to check To see that these are spinning freely, they need grease. So what I like to do is to grease them when the holes aren't lined up, so that some grease tries to migrate down to this end. If not, what we do, Jake, grab a hold of that. You can video me here. Where's the light? There's the light. Light's right here. So we're gonna hit this with the good old red and ready. You can see where we've hit it before last year. So I'll try to maintain some light on the story. There we go. That looks good. And then I can't, of course, we can't see. Hold on. Let me get all that covered up. Why not? Just because. So, and then that looks pretty good, right? Yeah, that's looking good. Yeah, she's got grease in there now. So let's get this one over here. Kind of grease gun. And we're going to use a one-hander magical grease gun. We're on there. I'm pumping in there. Better push this after it, eh? Not wild. We'll get that spinning. Give her some spins, work the grease into it. This has got to be free, right? You don't want this to seize up. Because if it seizes up and you're in a broken box event, or sorry, shear pin event, and these are frozen,
It'll break stuff.
it'll bust stuff. Exactly. So that's spinning freely now. And it looks like there's lots of grease in there. So just, you know, put it back. Put it back in there. Why? Keeps the water out. Why do we want the water out? Because we don't want the shaft to go frozen or seized up. So that's why we do that. Okay. I'm going to wash, rinse, repeat the same thing. And then we'll put new shear bolts back in. And I'll show you the magical invention that we got going here. So stand by. Impeller bearings good. All this is good. Everything's good. All the stuff that's got to be good is good. Okay? So don't worry. Except for this. Well, is this one bent? What'd you hit last year?
I don't know.
That one's bent.
Do they ever break all over time though, or no?
No. Not normally. Couldn't get the Ariens ones. They're on back order forever.
So what? Generic Chinesium?
Yep. So then you gotta go to fucking Scamazon and buy them off of there. The ones you got on your handlebars are original.
They probably are on the lower chute.
Yeah. Good.
I haven't bent anything though, eh? No flights bent or anything?
No, nothing bad. It's in good shape. Got a couple minor issues, but nothing that we can't.
The dipstick goes in the bottom here or what?
Goes in the tank. Okay, just,
Oh shit, I'm still recording.
What?
An original that was
The
clipped
original
on the
was
housing.
clipped on the handlebars or the cover? Yeah,
Cover
whatever.
We'll order some more after.
Yeah. So this is a rusty original one, but it's been in there so out there sitting in that handle for so long. So I did use anti-seize, you saw it. And I'm gonna put the nut on. Maybe. Okay, difference between the original ones and the Amazon ones was the original ones have a the original ones are called the center lock.
Oh, they're crimped in the middle.
Crimped in the middle.
Not like a stover, but they're center crimped.
Yeah. They're cheaper than a stover. one-time only nut. Basically, stovers you could reuse, nylock and one-time only. Okay, same deal as the other side. That's an original, so they actually fit the same, which I'm kind of happy to see that. That's an original. It's torqued, and it's still got a gobs of play in there. So you know that's going to snap off the way it's supposed to. When you run over a big gob of flyers or a chunk of firewood. Okay, want to roll this back into the operating position, Jake? Or grab me the camera? Just a second.
I'm going to pause this for a sec.
Yeah. Okay, I'm looking through the camera. Right there is what we're after. So we take out the fill hole.
All day bolt fill hole.
Yeah, okay, pause.
Yep.
Okay, now this device is the dipstick. And it's supposed to tell you when you got the right amount of oil in here. So there it is, inserted. And we'll take it back out. Oh my lord, look at that.
Sorry, focus.
You got to be in that thing.
So we're good?
We're just a touch low.
Yeah, we're low. We're slightly
Seen that
low.
beautiful dipstick?
Yeah.
Okay, no hassles, no measuring. Just like that, falls in the hole. Just like that, boys and girls. Okay. So what we're going to do is
find some gear lube oil.
I got some gear lube I'm going to put in there. I don't have any of the Ariens magical fluid. It comes from the gods. Apparently it's made of unobtainium. Some magical stuff.
We'll pause here for a sec. We got the next closest gift from the gods, Lucas. No, Amsoil, sorry. But
No, this is Lucas.
this is Lucas. Amsoil is the second gift from the gods.
Okay.
Lucas is third.
It's full synthetic.
75 W90.
Because why? Because that's gear oil. That's what we got. Try the dipstick again. Okay, I can go a little bit more. A little bit more.
Those high contrast colors are nice, to see the oil level.
Now, you guys can use the Lucas oil. I don't have any. And it's very expensive, and it takes a long time to get anything here. So that's what I'm using. I'm just doing a top up. And that puts it right there. Right on the stick.
So we're
right
good.
at the top. So it's good. So that's done. Okay. Put this back in.
And we'll pause. Now I think that'll be it anyways, guys. When we tighten that up.
No, I'm going to put the oil
In the
engine.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, you drain the oil,
Yeah. I took the key out so you know, just in case I didn't finish. Okay, got all that done. So, the day got screwed up with those two broken bolts. Couple of things I'm going to complain to Ariens. I haven't put the oil in yet, so we're going to finish that off tomorrow. I can probably finish the video tomorrow. Or not. What should we do? The last thing, I hope we're not forgetting, is to fill the engine full of oil. Maybe we'll do it right now. What the heck? Get it done. All right? But the muffler guards, the heat guard on the muffler, they're terrible. They're really terrible. I don't know. I'm glad we got that belt fixed though. With that brake band rubbing on the belt, that was highly annoying. Okay, so I'm going to set the shot up. Whoa! Sorry guys. I'm going to set the shot up. And you can watch me pouring in the oil. Look at that. Because I think people like to watch the oil get poured in. And I know it's over a liter. And the measured amount that is in the manual, it's low. And I did this previous videos on these machines. It's low. And I don't know why. So, what do you believe? The dipstick that just fell on the floor? Hold on, stand by. Okay, that's it. Got the oil in. It was quart and a bit. So buy 2 quarts if you're going to do it. It's not what, 1 quart's not even nearly enough. You put the quart in. It's between the 2 lines, but I go right to the top of between the 2 holes. I go right to the top of the hole. So that's it. That's it for now. Everything's greased. Everything's lubed. Tires are filled up. 20 pounds of air pressure. Check the valves. Valves were good. There's no fuel filter in these, although you could add one. Everything else seems to be good. So we're going to call that a video. You guys see me start enough of these and operate enough, but remember that heat guard sucks. They're no good. Ariens, if you're listening, LCT, if you're listening, fix them heat guards. They're junk. And these bolt problem on the axles. And that's 3 or 4 of them now that I come into the shop with loose axles. So that's it for now. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, check back off, and you guys got to see the dipstick. If you're really interested in the dipstick, here's the thing. I am going to start memberships to the channel. If you subscribe to a membership, you'll get a free dipstick and a sticker. So that's up and coming. And we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.